have been fed a lie so comfortable that you have built your entire identity around it. The lie is that permission precedes power. You believe that to build an empire, to master a craft, or to lead men, you must first be anointed by an institution. You need the degree. You need the certification. You need the stamp of approval from a system that was designed to produce workers, not rulers. But look at the men who actually hold the keys to the world. Look at the men who alter the trajectory of history. They do not have credentials. They have capabilities. They did not wait to be taught. They took knowledge like a thief in the night. The common belief is that the self-taught man is at a disadvantage, that he is scrappy but lacks the polish and foundation of the educated elite. This is the exact opposite of the truth. The academic is a domesticated animal. He has been trained to solve problems that already have answers. The self-taught man is a feral predator. He thrives in the unknown. He does not learn to pass a test. He learns to survive, to conquer, and to kill the competition. In a world that is becoming increasingly cajuvenic, the man who relies on a syllabus is obsolete. The man who can teach himself anything is a god. You are watching this because you feel a disconnect. You have followed the rules, or maybe you dropped out because the rules felt like a suffocating cage. You sense that the education you were sold is not a ladder but a treadmill. You are right. There is a hidden curriculum that the self-taught understand. A set of psychological laws that allow them to bypass the gatekeepers and seize the throne. The system hates them because it cannot control them. By the end of this video, you will understand why the expert is dying, and why the outlier who learns in the shadows is the only one who will survive the future. But you must listen with a dangerous level of focus, because we are not talking about reading books. We are talking about rewiring your mind for total intellectual sovereignty. Phase 1. The trap of the just-in-case mindset. The fundamental flaw of institutional learning is that it operates on just-in-case information. You spend 16 years of your life memorizing facts, formulas, and theories, just in case you might need them someday. You are a hard drive being filled with data you did not choose for a purpose you do not understand. This creates a psychological state of passivity. You sit, you listen, you absorb, you regurgitate, you are fed. The self-taught man operates on just-in-time information. He does not learn linear history because a teacher told him to. He learns the history of banking because he is trying to protect his wealth right now. He does not learn coding syntax to pass an exam. He learns it because he has an idea that keeps him awake at night, and he needs to build it tonight. This difference is not just about efficiency. It is about emotional voltage. When you learn something because you need it to survive or to win, the knowledge is seared into your neural pathways. It is not stored in your short-term memory. It is welded to your identity. Look at Frederick Douglass. He was born a slave. For him, literacy was not a subject in school. It was a crime. It was a weapon. The law forbade him from reading because his masters knew a terrifying truth. A man who can read can think, and a man who can think cannot be enslaved. Douglass didn't learn to read to get a job. He learned to read to steal his own soul back. He tricked neighborhood white children into teaching him letters. He scavenged for scraps of newspaper in the gutter. Compare that hunger to the modern university student, bored out of his mind in a $50,000 lecture hall, scrolling on his phone. Who do you think is going to win? The student views learning as a chore. The autodidact views learning as a heist. He is breaking into the vault of human knowledge to take what he needs to build his weapon. If you want to rule your world, you must stop acting like a student. Stop asking, what should I learn? And start asking, what is the obstacle in front of me, and what knowledge destroys it? Shift from accumulation to execution. The world is full of educated failures who know everything but do nothing. They are obese with information but starving for wisdom. Be the hunter. Eat only what you kill. Phase 2. The myth of the well-rounded man's society tells you to be well-rounded. Schools force you to study a little bit of everything so you can be a competent citizen. This is a strategy for mediocrity. Robert Greene, in his analysis of mastery, reveals that the most powerful figures in history were not balanced. They were lopsided. They were obsessed. They ignored 99% of the world to dominate the 1% that mattered to them. The self-taught man has the audacity to be ignorant. He does not care about being cultured or well, read in the eyes of the elites. He cares about being lethal in his chosen domain. He ignores the canon. He ignores the bestseller list. He ignores the news. He creates a tunnel vision so intense that it burns through the noise. Think of Michael Faraday. He is perhaps the greatest experimental physicist in history. He discovered electromagnetic induction. Without him, you have no electric motors, no power grid, no modern world. But Faraday was the son of a blacksmith. He had no formal education. He knew no advanced mathematics. In the eyes of the scientific aristocracy of the 19th century, he was a nobody, a servant. But because he was not indoctrinated by the rigid mathematical dogmas of the universities, he visualized physics differently. He didn't see equations. He saw lines of force. He saw invisible fields filling the space. While the experts were trapped in their formulas, Faraday was playing with magnets in a basement, guided by pure, unadulterated intuition. His ignorance of tradition was his greatest asset. He didn't know what was impossible, so he did it. You are paralyzed because you are trying to be good at everything. You are trying to please the invisible teacher. You are worried about your gaps in knowledge. Embrace the gaps. The self-taught man is a specialist in his own curiosity. He dives so deep into a rabbit hole that he comes out the other side with diamonds that the generalist will never find. Bye. Stop apologizing. The goal is not to be encyclopedia. The goal is to be able to concentrate on a single point until it's Phase 3. The immunity to authority. It is not designed to make you smart. It is designed to make you compliant. Every time you go to a belt. Every time you write an essay, please just you are learning how to be a prostitute for validation. The self-taught knows the truth. But you are not wants to go to Mars. He didn't enroll in a PhD program. He didn't have the actual permission. He borrowed textbooks from London. Industry standards. He would have been taught that reusable rockets are impossible. He would have been taught ways of government funding. The self-taught mind is dangerous because it does not respect the way things are done. It only respects physics and science. It looks at a system and asks, why is it this way, instead of saying, this is how it is. This is what Malcolm Gladwell touches on when he discusses it's not just about 10,000 hours of practice. It's about 10,000 hours of struggle. It is a struggle that goes there's no bad teacher. There is only you. And when you no longer need the world to tell you that you are good, you become impossible to manipulate. You become a glitch in the matrix of competence. You are the anomaly. You are the one who looks at the CEO, the professor, the president, and sees them not as superiors but as peers or obstacles. Phase 4, the feedback loop of pain. In school, failure is a permanent mark. You get an F. It goes on your record. It signals that you are lesser. So, you learn to avoid failure. You learn to play it safe. You learn to memorize the answer key rather than understand the problem. In the real world, the world of the self-taught, failure is not a grade, it is data. The self-taught man learns through a process of rapid feedback loops. He tries, he fails, he hurts, he adjusts, he tries again. This is the scientific method applied to the self. Consider the mechanic who learned by fixing broken engines in the back. The educated man treats knowledge as abstract. The self-taught man treats knowledge as a contact sport. This is why self-taught coders often outperform computer science graduates. The graduate knows the theory of algorithms. The self-taught coder knows what happens when the server crashes at 3 a.m. He has the scars. The outlier invites this struggle. He understands that confusion is the sweat of learning. If you are not confused, you are not learning. You are just reviewing what you already know. Most people stop when they hit the wall of I don't understand. They say I'm not good at math or I'm not a creative person. They look for an expert to save them. The self-taught man experiments until something breaks and then he fixes it. This high tolerance for intellectual confusion is the superpower. While your competitors are waiting for a course to be released, you are stumbling through the darkness, bruising your shins, and finding the light switch yourself. By the time they finish the intro module, you have already built the prototype. Speed is a byproduct of the refusal to wait for instruction. Phase 5, the synthesis of the forbidden. Here is where the self-taught man becomes truly dangerous. He does not respect the artificial boundaries between subjects. In the university, knowledge is segregated. The economist does not talk to the psychologist. The artist does not talk to the engineer. They are kept in silos, specialized and sterile. They are taught that X has nothing to do with Y. But in the real world, everything is connected to everything. The self-taught man is a polymath by necessity. Because he is solving real problems, he realizes that to build a great business, he cannot just be a business major. He must be a designer, a negotiator, a coder, and a psychologist all at once. He synthesizes fields that the experts think are unrelated. Look at Steve Jobs, a college dropout. He didn't take computer science classes. He sat in on calligraphy classes. He learned about serif and sans serif typefaces. To a practical person, this was a waste of time. But when he built the Macintosh, he didn't just build a computer. He built the first computer with beautiful typography. He combined technology with liberal arts. He merged the hard with the soft. The engineers at IBM couldn't do this. They were too educated in engineering. They saw the computer as a calculator.